Hi, my name is Taekarian. Normal batch is 291624. Now I will present about the starter part, which is login and register page, right? Register coding. And the last, I will demonstrate how the system implementation. Right, for this part, I will explain about the login and register HTML code. And the founder is auth.html. Right, in this HTML structure, the doc type in HTML is to define the document type and start the HTML document. In this code, I will explain the important part only, which is the title tag. The title tag is used to set the title of the web page. In this assignment, we set the title to become the expense tracker authentications. And for this assignment, we will using the external style sheet, which is Bootstrap. And we will using the inline CSS in the head tag for styling with using the style tag. So in the style, I will just explain about the body part, which is the background image. Background image, we're using the point JPG that we save in the computer that cover the entire viewpoint. Right, for the body sections, I will explain it line by line, but not all. The first line, a div tag with the class name out container is to wrap the boot login and register form. And for the next line, div tag with the ID name login page is containing the login form. And you can see the form element is to wrap the all input field. And for the next line, the div tag with the class name form group is a bootstrap class that provide the proper spacing and layout for the form elements. As you can see, all the label and inputs, I will explain it, the label, the tag, but not all. So for the label text is to display the text next to the input field. For example, the username, when in the login, in the login page, it will display the label name, which is the username. And for the input tag with the type text is for the username input, and the class with the name form control is a bootstrap class that applies standard styling to the input field, and the ID name login username is an identifier for the JavaScript and the form associations. For the last, the required words is to ensure the user must input something to avoid any empty. So I will skip to the spam element because the other label and input is quite similar functions. And so for the spam element with the class name toggle link is used for the styling the link like appearance. And the ID name so register is used in the JavaScript code to add an event listener for the click event to switch to the registration form. So for the register form, it will similar with the login form, so I will not repeat the same explanation. So next, right, for this part, the first script tag is jQuery and the second script is a custom JavaScript file named auth.js that we have used in this assignment. So next, I will explain about the login and register about the JavaScript file named auth.js. Alright, for this page, the first line document.ready function is a jQuery function to ensure the script runs only after the HTML document has been fully loaded. And the next, the let users equals to load from local storage is to retrieve the user data from local storage and assign it to the user variable. The line 4 and the line 7 is the function that when the element with the ID name show register is clicked, it will hide the login page and show the register page. And the line number 9 until 12 is similar with the previous one, but is different with when the element with the ID name show login is clicked, it will hide the registration page and show the login page. And for the line 14, the register form dot on submit function, it is mean that add a submit event handler to the form with the ID name register form. And for the next line, prevent default is to prevent any empty when the form submissions. And the line number 16 and 17 is to get value from the input field that the user input with the ID name register username and register password and assign it to the variable username and password. And for line 19, inside the if loop is to check if the username is already exists in the user object or not. And the next line, if the username not exists, it will create a new username and password in the user object and also create an empty expenses array, which means that when logging with a new user and password, the expense data will be empty and not be shared. And the next line, the name save to local storage is a function that to save the updated info back to the local storage. And the next, the alert is to show the message when the user successfully registered. As you can see in the line 23 and 24 is clear the value in the register username and register password input field. And the next line, show login trigger click is the function that it is automatically switched to the login page if the registration is successfully. And you can see the else alert. That alert is if the user already have registered it, it will prompt an alert message that the user already exists. Alright, next is login form submission function. The line 21 login form dot on submit function is to add a submit event handler to the form with the ID name login form. The line 32 to 34 function is similar with the previous register form, so I will skip it to the line 36. Line 36 is when the user enter a username and password, it will check if the username is exists in the user object or not, and also check the provided password that match with the storage password. And the next line, local storage dot set item bracket current username is to store the current username in the local storage under the key current user. At the line 38, window.location.href equals to expenses.html is when the user successfully log in, it will redirect the user to the expenses.html page. And the next line, else, the alert is if the user input the wrong username or password, it will prompt an alert message inform that user they enter the valid input. And for the line 44 is declare the save to local storage function. The local storage dot set item bracket user comma json.string ify users is to convert the user object to JSON data into the string and save it in the local storage under the key name users. And 48 line 48 is declare the load from local storage function. The const user data equals to local storage dot get item. This code it is to retrieve the user data from local storage. And the next line, return user data question JSON.freeze user data is to check if the user data is not now. If it is not now, freeze it from the JSON string to an object and return it. If it is now, return an empty object.
Right. Now I will demonstrate how to use our login page and register page. For the new user, you can click to have an account register. When you click it, it will go to the register form. Then here, you need to click username, new password, and after that, click register. After click register, it will show that the page has successfully registered. Click OK, it will jump into the login page. The login page, you have to enter name, username, and password that they have registered. Click login, we will go into the expense.html page. And for another example, even the different account have a different expense data. For example, for this account, click login, you can see the expenses that they got. Log out and use another person. Login, it will display different expense data. If the user did the wrong username and password, it will prompt the alert that invalid username and password. That's all.
My name is On and my metric number is 291,427. Now I would like to present about the functional in this expense record system. This is how the system look. Now I will show how the system can run, how it run. So first we need to enter the amount of your expenses in this form field and choose the specific date and choose the category of your expenses. And we have 4 options, which is the food, transport, daily item, and others. In this case, I will choose the others. And when you choose others category, the system will need the user to specify what is the type of the expenses. And in this case, I will write the spot and click the add expense button. And the data has been added in the system and show it in the view expenses table. So we can make a edit to the data that we have entered previously. So we change the amount. And we can also change the date and click again the add expense button. So the amount and date has been changes, and we can also make a deletion of the expenses by click only the delete button. So the record has been deducted. That's all for this system, and we will move to the coding part. And this is the overview for the system. This code is to capture the input that have been keyed in by the user, such as the amount, the date, and the category. And in the category option, they will have four options, which is the food, transport, daily item, and others. And when the user choose the others category, the system will appear the form field which named as please specify. And this is the expense button. Now let's move on to the JavaScript file. So for the add expense function, the this is to retrieve the this code is to retrieve the input that key in by the user, and when the user is choose the others category, it will combine it together with the amount, the date, and this code is to create a expense object that we name as expense, and the expense object is contain the unit ID, the amount, the date, and the category, and store the object will be stored into the current user array, and the array will be stored into the local storage. That's how the data is stored in local storage. And let's move on to the delete function. And by provide the specific ID, the system can retrieve the data from the array, and any changes can store in the array, and the array store again to the local storage. So let's move to the edit function. And as the same, by provide the specific ID, the system can retrieve the current user data from the user array, and it will set the the system will set the form field with the data that has keyed in by the user before. And when user is key in the new data, such as the new amount, the new date, and new category, and it will store back to the current user array, and the array is will store into the local storage again. That's all for my part, and I will pass to the next presenter. Thank you.
Hi everyone, my name is Jung metric number 291957. Now I will continue the presentation about the view summary part. So in this part of code, the user can choose the chart type to show the data, like the bar chart, line chart, or the pie chart. To show the data in the chart format, you need to using the external library that called chart.js. So in this part of code, we need to put the canvas.id like this. This to show the which canvas in this place. Then this is the external library, and this is the another JavaScript file to link it. So this part is the JavaScript file about the chart. So we have a function called update chart. So the cons.ctx, this part, it means to get the drawing context of the canvas element with the ID called explain chart. Then this part is to get the type of user choose, the chart type of user choose. So if the chart already exiting, the chart will be destroyed and then build it again to update it. And this could mean aggregate the data, aggregate the explain data by category. This could and this code will show the main category it has. So if the category does not exceed, it will initialize as 0. And this part of code means add the explain amount to the corresponding categories total in the accumulator. And this code means extract the category names from the aggregate data to use as a label in the chart. This part also, you will extract the aggregated explain amount from the aggregate data to use it as a data in chart. This part. And this two line means we will map each category label to its corresponding background color and their border color. So this part of code means to create a chart, you need to write like this, like their type and data label, data set, and the other colors and designs we need to use. So if the chart type is not type, this you also will aggregate the explain data by both date and the category. And this key means create a combination about the date and the category. This could after that same with the previous one. If the key does not exceed, it will initialize as 0. Then add the explain amount to the corresponding key total in the accumulator. This also same with previous. Let the key as the label in the chart and let the value as a data in the chart. Then match each label to its corresponding background color from the category color objects and falling back to others if the category is not found. And this also same to create a chart. We need to put the format like this like the type data, label, data set, and the colors. And this part means if the chart type is line chart, the y-axis will begin from the 0. Then this part means enable the display of the regions on the chart. This. Then this means the custom function to generate the label for the regions. Then this code means extract unique category from the labels. And this chart.data.label means access the label to use in the chart. And the map means it will split. And this map dot label dot split one. This part means it will split each label and take the part of the it, which is a category. And the set and the new set, it means create a set to store a unique category name to ensuring not duplicate. And this code means the array from convert the set of unique category back into an array and then map each category to an object for the legends. This means the category name to display in the legends. Then this two is the background and the border color for the regions. And then for it will become the default to the others for any things that cannot found. And this is the width, and this hidden false it means indicate the region item invisible, and this is let the array using for ordering. And the last we will return the array of custom legend item. Okay, now I will show the how the system run it. Okay, this is the existing data. This is the chart. We can change the chart type like the line chart, pie chart. Okay, so now we're adding a new data. Like after that, it will destroy the chart and build a new. So this is a new chart. Okay, now we're adding some data in the category others. Like give a name, then this is the other part. Okay, I give one more other category one. Okay, now I type another name. It's still in the other part. Okay, that's all.
Challenges. We are facing some problem when making this expand tracking system. The first is about the handling nested array in local storage. Handling local storage for user data with nested expand record was challenging. It required precise data retrieval and updating to ensuring the data integrity. Like the variable user, inside that have the username, password, and the expand. And inside the expand, you also have the date, amount, and the others. So it's quite difficult and confusing. The second challenges is chart integration and data visualizations. To fulfill the requirement, we need to let the data become the chart, let the user can more easier to see. So we need to integrating the chart.js for data visualizations and ensuring that the chart accurately reflect the current state of the data is complex. Other than that, the user also can choose the chart type they want, like the bar, line, and pie. So we need to think how to change the chart type and bring that data to go. So it's also very difficult. Need to think a lot of time and update the chart when have a new data income. And the third challenges is form validation and condition input display. We need to implementing form validation to ensure all required fields are correctly filled and conditionally display additional input field based on the user selections. This to ensure a smooth and intuitive of user experience. And the last challenges is linking Visual Studio Code to GitHub. This involve setting up the GitHub for version control, creating, managing repository, and ensure seamless synchronization between the local code base and the remote repository. Because we have never used it before, so we need to spend the time for Google search and YouTube to know how to use the GitHub. So that's all for our presentations. Thank you.